Hey everyone, welcome to my backyard butterfly garden. My name is Susan and my entire backyard has been designed to support the butterfly life cycle. I have the perfect plants in place to bring all these butterflies in, and it's fabulous. And there's lots of butterflies out, so we're going to go explore the garden and see what's going on. We have, for the past few days, had some really summery weather, like sweaty, hot, humid, but also we've got the gorgeous blue sky and Florida sunshine going on. But look right here, it started. The narrow-leaf sunflowers are starting to bloom. Eventually, maybe next week when we walk through the garden, you're going to see a lot more blooms here. There are butterflies flying everywhere, lots and lots of zebra longwings, and I love it. You know I love it. So let's get up close with one of these beautiful blooms. Pollinators love them. You can see there's pollinators buzzing here and there. And these are just such a reliable and spectacular fall bloomer. But the rest of the year, they're kind of very nondescript. So they're just a big green space in your garden. But like I said, when they bloom, oh my goodness, they're gorgeous. And it's starting, I can't believe, can y'all believe it's like, it's going to be October. It's going to be October. And of course, here's some sweet scent nestled in with it all. With the little wasp. Loving that nectar. Fabulous pollinators. Even though they're not so fabulous to caterpillars. Although some of the wasps don't do anything to caterpillars. Some of them eat specific things like certain beetles and that sort of thing. But they are hugely important in the ecosystem, and you can't have the butterflies without having all the other guys too. It just won't make a complete butterfly garden. So we just accept them and let them do their thing, and there's some really cool looking wasps. The snow square stem, absolutely gorgeous, in full bloom. I've taken pictures of butterflies on it, little pollinators are on it. Of course, now while I'm standing here talking about it, nobody's on it. The flowers are so pretty when you get up close. Let's get up close. I love how delicate they are. They're just spectacular. My little verbenas still blooming like little champs, and they're starting to sprawl out. Look how far down they're growing away from their pot now. And I just keep trimming off, like, see, there's a dead branch, and so I just keep trimming them back, and they keep putting out more, so I love it. Regularly deadheading keeps everything blooming. Now I'm getting my starry rosin weeds that are right in here. I love just walking through with my trimmers, which I happen to bring with me. I brought my trimmers with me for this garden exploration in the hopes I was going to find caterpillars, but also taken the opportunity to do a little deadheading. Oh, see, look at this verbena. It has some good deadheading opportunities. My little wild petunias are blooming too. This is a Florida native, and I have them planted in this pot. You know what's funny about this pot is there's two natives that grow in here. You can't hardly see the edge of the pot. And they take turns in the beginning of the season. There'll be Rudbeckia hirta growing out of this pot. And then in the latter half of the season, a wild petunia. They're both living in there, but you only see one at a time. It's fabulous. There's some pretty pink zinnias blooming in here. Lots of the snow square stem. Oh, look, there's a Polydamas swallowtail butterfly. I'm seeing them regularly, but what's interesting is I'm not finding eggs. I check my host plants daily, which we'll be checking them because I'm ready. I'm ready to find some eggs and bring in and raise more. All of my Polydamas swallowtail caterpillars are in chrysalides right now. Look at my pickerelweed still flowering continuously. So I am really, really ready for more caterpillars. Look at how the snow square stem is over there, but look at how the branches, they just spread into everywhere. There's a branch right here that's coming from that shrub. See this pentas? It needs deadheaded. Let's give it a little trimming. And here's a pickerel weed. And the salvia right here is ready to be trimmed. My little buttonwood sage is really blooming and it's putting on the berries. They're so pretty, all hanging in here. That's a Florida native plant. It's actually a type of lantana. You can see by the flowers. They're real small compared to other lantana, the whole size of the whole head, but the flowers themselves look like lantana. There's a Gulf fritillary on the snow square stem. And this walkway right here, I am going to trim that snow square stem back so I can get through here again. And some of the plants along here, the beach tea, right there's a Florida native, and it just wants to reach out into the walkway. This garden needs a little bit of cleaning up. Some of the passiflora incense has worked its way into here. Just checking to see if there's eggs on the end. I've been taking in so many zebra longwing butterflies because I've got tons of host plant for them and they're so easy to raise. So why not? Look, the Polydamas swallowtail's back. So it's been a lot of fun having them in, and their eggs I can still find readily, where some of the other ones like the Polydamas swallowtail and the giant swallowtail, I'm not finding their eggs. Now the eastern black swallowtail, y'all saw I had, was it last week, all those eggs and none of them were hatching. Well, I've had a little success and you will be seeing some adorable little guys when we go into the lepidarium. See, here's my pipe vine, and like on one hand, I'm glad it's being left alone so it can grow back. But if I'm seeing the butterflies regularly, like I should be getting eggs, shouldn't I? But I haven't found any, and I'm out here checking like multiple times a day because you never know when it can happen. Like I could look at this right now and not see any eggs and then walk to another place in the garden and that butterfly could come over and lay eggs. So it's always a possibility. That's one of the fun things about butterfly gardening. Oh my goodness. Same with my wild lime right here. I check it all the time, and I just turned around and look, there's an egg right there. I was just checking these earlier and there weren't eggs. So, and that's how it happens. Like, just like that. Now I'm going to have to go and check all of these. Oh, I'm so excited. I hope these ones hatch, because all the other ones that I took in that I was showing you before, did not. None of them were viable. But I got one here. No, not you, love bug. All right, well, I'm gonna go check and definitely take this cutting in, and I'll be right back. Look, there's a little skipper on this new square stem. I tell you, they're all loving it. I love the coloring, that deep teal, green, blue. It's down there thinking about getting another snow square stem, but there's one of those thread-waisted wasps on it too. You see the thread-waisted, I can't talk, the thread-waisted wasp. It's on that one, right there. It's gone. Okay. I hope you saw it. It's so funny filming out here because, like, out in the sunlight, it's hard to see on your phone screen. And I film with my phone. I'm actually thinking about getting the new iPhone because mine is the 14 Pro Max, and the 17 is supposed to have an incredible camera. So I'm really thinking about upgrading to that. There's a golf fritillary, but I can't really see what's on the screen all the time in the sunlight. And so I hope what I'm filming and talking about is actually in focus. Usually it does. I do okay. There's a monarch on the snow square stem. If y'all don't have snow square stem, this is the time of year it blooms though. It's not around all year. I feel like last year though mine bloomed longer. Maybe it'll bloom through winter. There's one of the thread-waisted wasps right in the middle. No, it's not. I just looked, it's gone again. I hope you saw it. Okay, let's just keep walking and exploring. The love bugs have been here in Florida and they've been driving me crazy in the garden because they just float around. And since it's been so warm, they just float around and they stick to me. And so you can just feel them. That gives me the creepy crawlies. And I'm always like getting them off, but I'm not seeing as many today. That was like quick. That was a quick love bug turnaround, but I'll take it because they're like, look how gorgeous this golf fritillary is. They're like a nuisance. That Mexican sunflower there that's looking real droopy, see it right there? I moved it and it had rooted down through the pot. And so it's been struggling, and I've been giving it lots of water. Every time I give it lots of water, it pops right back. So I need to go give it some water. Actually, I should go turn my hose on, do it now while I'm talking about it, because it's just reestablishing its roots because I moved it and broke its root that was going down through the pot opening into the earth. This golf fritillary is just gorgeous. I love the little white speckles on the back of their head. This one looks new. I feel like I have to say that. All right, I'm gonna go turn the hose on and water that, and then I'll be right back. Okay, I've got the hose on. A little white peacock just flew through here, but it's so fast. I wanted to catch it on camera. There is some kind of something, probably frog fruit, I don't know, growing up in my neighbor's backyard, and I'll see them over there down on the ground. Oh, look, there's another. Oh no, it's gone again. Just another thread waisted wasp right there. Oh my gosh. Okay. So I haven't watered that plant yet, but I wanted to show you the white peacock that flew off. Oh, and speaking of like butterflies, I released yesterday 3 of the most spectacularly gorgeous, perfect female eastern black swallowtails. So look at the poor little guy. Where's my hose? So hopefully I'll be getting even more eggs. And like I said earlier, I do have babies to show you. And yes, they are adorable. Okay, I don't want you to have to hear my hose noise. So I'm gonna go water that poor little Mexican sunflower and we'll continue exploring. Look, there's a carpenter bee. They love the, well, that's a sage that it's on, but they also, yeah, there it goes. They love the pickerel weed too. And they love the blue sky flower, which is still gorgeous. And none of you told me about my little grass that's growing in there. I thought maybe one of you, when I showed it before, would say, yeah, that's native and that's something, but no, nobody said anything, so I don't know. I'm just gonna leave it be. Where'd the little bee go? Here it is. All right, I gave it a good drink, so hopefully in a little bit it'll perk up. And you know, while I'm watering, it's when I'm stuck watering and I'm just standing looking around, that's when like a lot of ideas come. But my plum crazy sage salvia is growing up back in there. You can see the purple. Well, it's completely being smothered out by, guess who? Snow square stem. But everybody loves the snow square stem, so we're leaving it be because it's a pollinator and butterfly magnet. But this is in a pot, and I was looking down here. Like, you can see its pot back there. But I think, let me zoom out. I realized I was zoomed in. I think I could move that pot right here into this space, and then it will have like this section to come up in and get more sunlight. So I'm gonna go set you guys down and move that, and I'll be right back and show you. So here's the before, empty hole, and hopefully I'll be able to move it with relative ease, and the plum crazy can just take over in this space. It's amazing how just one little move makes such a difference in a little garden space. So it looks so much better. And that poor plant had a lot of dead stems. I trimmed it all up, and now that it's going to be getting more sunlight, it's probably going to fill in and just be spectacular. So here's that garden space. We're going to go look right down at the spot we were looking down at. See, right now you can see the blooms are right up front. And I was able to get the pot in right there. And now we've got some of the blooms out where we can see them. Look, there's another long-tailed skipper on the snow square stem. It's the plant of the moment. They love it. You know, it's funny when you have a densely planted area like this with a pot and you move one thing, you'll find there were other plants that were trapped or grown under and around other branches, and you can kind of clean them all up because This pentas was kind of trying to be buried down there. I was able to get it up and out, and some of its branches were scrappy. You can see it trimmed off right there. Actually need to trim lower. And then that will grow back in, so eventually there will be red pentas filling in that spot. Look at how beautiful. Snow square stem. So the flowers start out like this, and then they'll open around the edges, and eventually all the center ones will open too. So they go through stages. Such a really, I love these plants. They make a great shrub. You can shape them. They'll get thick and full. They're sturdy. They smell good. Their stems are really cool. And at this time of year, it is a pollinator magnet. All right, I feel like we're in a little bit of a butterfly lull about this time of day. I won't see as many. Like, I can pan through the garden and there's things flying around, but not a lot of butterflies. I think they take an afternoon nap, honestly. And then later they'll be out again. So let's go on into my garden room and see some adorableness I've got going on in there. So look at all these guys just sitting here on my work table. This right here, these are the cuttings of wild lime that I just brought in that have the eggs for giant swallowtails. I found 3. So I've got those 3 cuttings here. And then, ooh, look right here. Finally, this is Rue, and these are baby Eastern black swallowtail caterpillars. I have a few out here, and there was one on this. This is parsley. Yeah, I can see him in there. You see him in there? And then on this Rue, these little babies just hatched. They are tiny and adorable. You can see their tiny, tiny little bodies. So cute. There, I got a little bit of better light so you can see them better. Hopefully you can see them. I was so thrilled when I finally saw that some eggs were hatching. And there's still some eggs on here, so maybe we'll get more. And then I have one more floral tube, and you can see there's an egg and 2 tiny babies. These are all Eastern black swallowtails. And I just, like I said, released 3 females, so hopefully there's a male out and about. Look at that little one. I love it. And then right here, I have a new, sorry, my fan's blowing, making the leaf move. Let me grab the leaf and hold it still. There we go. Look at this baby. This is an Eastern tiger swallowtail on a wild black cherry tree leaf. I watched its mama lay this egg, and I immediately went out and brought it in. And then she also laid some eggs real up high in the tree. I cannot reach. I think I filmed about that. So anyway, yay! I'm so glad to have another one of these. I have 3 right now. You'll see one of the other ones when we go into the lepidarium. And the 3rd one's already in its chrysalis. And you can see down there is a tiny baby sulfur caterpillar on Privet Senna. I only found one yesterday. I was looking through. This is the one I found, but there are some eggs on here too. Let's see if I can find an egg. Okay, the eggs are on tips of leaves that I can't get to focus on, but there are some eggs on here. These are some zebra longwing eggs I brought in. I've actually got a lot of them in right now, the eggs, and I also have a lot of babies, and I love it. Let me show you some of the babies. Actually, there's some big ones out here too. So there's a couple young ones. Well, one young and one teenager, and there's a bigger one in the back. That bigger one I need to move in. And then over here, I'll bring it to you, is a whole stem full of babies. Aren't they cute? Look at them. These are zebra longwings, Florida state butterfly, and they are on the host plant that I have in my garden is Passiflora incense, which is a hybrid between a Florida native and I think a native from South America. And I get tons of these, and I thought I'm just going to start bringing more in and raising them. So I have even more in my garden because this is a host plant. I don't think you'll ever see me saying, oh, I need more, because I have tons of it in my garden. All right, let's go into the lepidarium, see who's in there. I have even more Eastern black swallowtail babies en route in here. These ones are just a little bit older than the ones on my work table. And then right beside them, I have cloudless sulfur, I think it's the green and blue one, and orange barred sulfur caterpillars. I love the green and blue. Look at the colors. They're incredible. Look at that. See if we can get in even closer. There's a better look. Oh my goodness. So these guys are getting really big. I'm expecting to have some pupating. Look how chubby he is going on soon. But there's also some little ones in here. This Privet Senna as host plant for cloudless and orange barred sulfur and sleepy orange. And I love this plant. Here's another one. And oh, look at this guy. He's turning around. And I have 3 chrysalides in here. I feel like they've been chrysalis form for a little bit, so we might be getting butterflies soon. Here's one right here. Very unique chrysalide design. They'll also be different colors too. Sometimes they're more yellow. There's one up in there that's starting to turn like more orangey. So that one's going to be closing soon. I have a super chunky Gulf fritillary right here on Passiflora incense. And there's some more. Yeah, there's another one back there. I just brought in fresh wild lime cuttings, and my 2 giant swallowtail caterpillars are down. I don't know why they're at the bottom, but you can see them both down in there. That's the only ones I have. So I hope those eggs I brought in hatch. I really, 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 really do. Look at him peeking. And then on this one, I have more Passiflora incense. This is where more of the zebra longwings are. And those spikes are harmless. They're soft. See, doesn't hurt. He's like, leave me alone. There's a chrysalis right there on the plant, and then you can see all the chrysalides. And then lastly is a little Mr. Adorable. Right here on the wild black cherry tree is, look at the sweet baby. Let's get you turned around, mister. He's like right here. Here we go. This is an eastern tiger swallowtail caterpillar. Okay, my light died in there, so I brought his little plant out here in the Florida sunshine. There, look. I love these guys. He's the sweetest little caterpillar. And he got himself in a little situation where he got stuck in the floss, the silk. You can see it was stuck around his waist. And so I had to actually go and cut it off. But you can see he's got some like scar tissue there. I think what he was doing is he left the plant. I found him crawling around, and I think he crawled through somebody else's silk and got stuck in it. So I hope he's going to be able to pupate okay. He is. Say, I am going to pupate just fine because I'm adorable. Eastern tiger swallowtail caterpillar on wild lime cuttings. And that's the last guy I have to show you. But there's some monarchs out here, I think. Let's go check on them. I was out looking at this potted swamp milkweed, and you can see there's some munch marks. So there were caterpillars. Yep, look, baby monarchs, adorable, munching on the best native milkweed to grow in Florida, swamp milkweed. Speaking of that, remember all those seeds I bought? Remember I bought a bunch of different varieties of native Florida milkweed seeds? I had to I remember I tried growing them all kinds of different ways. Hang on a minute, let's go walk through the garden. I'll finish talking so you can see butterflies, because I think there's more out. Oh yeah, there's lots of flying activity. I bought a bunch of Florida native milkweeds, not swamp milkweed. That were other ones that I don't have, to try growing them from seed. And I tried germinating them by not cold stratifying them, and none of them germinated. So I finally broke down and cold stratified them, and I forgot about them. They're in my refrigerator in this bottom drawer, and I saw them. I was like, oh my gosh. So they got cold stratified for not 1 month like they're supposed to, but 2 months. So I brought them out and I threw them in pots, and we'll check in on them if I remember on Tuesday. So make sure you come back Tuesday, and maybe some of them will germinate by then, and we'll have some good news to share and see. So, oh my gosh, this is spectacular. I mean, it's already looking spectacular, and it's not even like full-blown open narrow leaf sunflower. This narrow leaf sunflower is a Florida native, and it's a wetland plant, and it is planted in my wetland garden, which how I made that is I dug out a bunch of soil, I put in pond liner, and I filled it back in so it holds water, and everything does fabulous there on it. And I have videos of making it. I think I have a little playlist for wetland gardening. You can go find that if you want to see exactly how I did it. There's a zebra longwing back there on Snow Square Stem. All right, so I'm going to go in and get this edited and up for you tonight because that's how I like to film, like day of. So you were seeing the most current look of my garden. And thank you so much, those of you who posted a comment about your butterfly gardens on my Thursday video titled, "This is why you plant a butterfly garden." If you haven't watched that yet, please go watch it and post your comment. You'll see what I'm talking about in the video. It's only a 5-minute video, so go watch it real quick and post your comment and tap the like button for this video. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, everyone.